Hello everyone, I am Dr. Devyani and you are watching Epistasis. So this is the second part of the quick revision chapter of Animal Kingdom. So this is helpful for the students who are in class 11 and those who are preparing for NEET UG and for also those who are appearing for different competitive exams and opted for biology. Okay, so the first part we have already discussed about the important basis of classification of animals and also discussed non-chordates phylum. So that is from phylum Porifera to phylum Hemichordata. Okay, so in this video we will start from chordates, phylum Chordata. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get into the video. So phylum Chordata. So there are four important characters of chordata. Okay, phylum chordata. Number one is they have notochord. This is cartilaginous dorsal rod-like structure which is present in the body of the animals which are grouped under the phylum chordata. And so notochord should be there, so that's why they are chordata, they are under the phylum chordata. Number two is dorsal hollow nerve cord. So nerve cord should be there in the dorsal side of the notochord. So dorsal hollow nerve cord is also another important character. Number three is pharyngeal gill slits. So pharyngeal gill slits also it's an important characters on lateral side of the pharynx at some stage of the life, right? Next is post anal tail or tail which is just reduced or absent in many adult chordates, but they are present in embryonic life or some stage of their life. Okay, next their ventral heart is always ventral. Okay, so these four, the first four, that means notochord, dorsal hollow nerve cord, pharyngeal gill slits and tail, these are four important characters of chordate. Now heart is ventral is another important character. Now this phylum chordata has three subphylums. Okay, so subphylum one is Urochordata or Tunicata, number two is Cephalochordata, and number three is Vertebrata. So these first two, Urochordata and Cephalochordata, grouped and just cumulatively are termed as protochordates, and they are all the members are marine. That means all the members of Urochordata and Cephalochordata are marines. So in case of Urochordata, notochord only present in larval tail portion. Okay, so in case of Urochordata, notochord only in larval tail portion, and in Cephalochordata, notochord from head to tail and persists throughout the life, not in the larval portion. Okay, so in case of Cephalochordata, notochord from head to tail and persists throughout the life. And the most important subphylum is Vertebrata. So what are the important characters of Vertebrata? Number one is here notochord is replaced. Notochord present during the embryonic life, but after that it is replaced by vertebral column, so that's why they are called vertebrata. So the first and foremost characters of vertebrata is that they are notochords are replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in adult vertebrates, and that's why all the vertebrates are chordate, but all chordates are not vertebrates, right? And next is they have ventral muscular heart, they have kidneys, they have paired appendages like paired appendages different like in case of fins or limbs or etc. So they have definitely have some paired appendages. Okay, all and also kidneys for excretion and or osmoregulation. Okay, so these are important characters of vertebrata. So according to the syllabus, we will learn about the phylum Vertebrata, not not phylum. So I have written wrong here. It should be subphylum Vertebrata. Okay, so I just made a mistake. So it should be subphylum Vertebrata. So according to this to the syllabus, we will only learn about the subphylum Vertebrata, not Urochordata and Cephalochordata, right? Now this vertebrata has two division. Number one is Agnatha, so division. So remember, after subphylum Vertebrata, the next hierarchy is division, and it has two division: Agnatha, that lacks jaw, and Gnathostomata, that bears jaw. So this is the important presence of, according to the presence of jaw, the subphylum Vertebrata is divided into two division, Agnatha and Gnathostomata. And inside Agnatha, under Agnatha, there is a class 1 is Cyclostomata, and another hierarchy is there, that is in under Gnathostomata, it is superclass. So superclass Pisces and Tetrapoda. So tetrapoda means they bears limbs. Okay, so they tetrapoda, and in case of Pisces, they bears fins. So paired appendages may be fins or limbs. So in case of Pisces, they have fins, and in case of tetrapoda, they have limbs. So under Pisces, there are two classes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, and under tetrapoda, there are four classes, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia, or mammals. Okay, let's start with Cyclostomata. That means we are talking about subphylum Vertebrata, division Agnatha, and under it class Cyclostomata, right? So they lacks jaws. That is their first and important character. Okay, so Cyclostomata, all living members are mainly ectoparasites. Okay, number two is they have skin, soft skin, smooth, unicellular mucous glands, but no scales. So there will be no scales present in their skin, and they have paired fins. So they have some sucking or circular jawless mouth, because they do not have jaws. So this is the most important character. They have sucking and circular jawless mouth, and they have cartilaginous cranium and vertebral column. So their vertebral column is cartilaginous. Their circulation is also closed type, that means have artery, veins, or capillaries, etc. Or they have and they have hard two chambered, one auricle and one ventricle, and their example is Petromyzon or Myxin. So this is the example, a figure or picture of Petromyzon. Next, coming to Chondrichthyes. So Chondrichthyes is, well, under subphylum Vertebrata, division Gnathostomata, that means they bears jaw, and under superclass Pisces and class Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. So we will remember, or we will learn about the classes. So this is a class Chondrichthyes. Okay, so let's come to Chondrichthyes. These main characters, they are marine with cartilaginous endoskeleton. So their endoskeleton is made up of cartilages. So they have cartilaginous endoskeleton. Their mouth is located ventrally. Okay, and next is they have 5 to 7 pairs of gills, separate gills, and without operculum. What is operculum? The gill cover is called operculum. And they have particular type of scales. This type is called placoid. So they have placoid scales. They have powerful jaws. So they have jaws, and their jaws are very powerful, and they are predaceous, and they do not have any air bladder. That's why they have to keep swimming, so that they just avoid sinking. So they do not have any air bladder. Number two, some of them have electric organs like torpedo, or poison stings like trigon. So these are some organs which are present in this type of predaceous fishes. And poikilothermus, that means they are cold-blooded. Okay, so they are poikilothermus. Their heart is again two chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Their sexes are separate, and males with claspers. So here the males are claspers, and fertilization is internal, and they are viviparous. Okay, so it is again an important character that they are viviparous, and example is Scoliodon, torpedo, etc. Okay, so these are important characters, and not all but many of them are viviparous. Okay, not all but many of them are viviparous. So example is Scoliodon and torpedo. So this is the figure of Scoliodon. Next, coming to the bony fishes, that means osteichthyes. So in case of chondrichthyes, their endoskeleton is made up of cartilage, and here in case of osteichthyes, they can be of marine or freshwater fishes with bony exoskeleton. This is first and foremost difference between osteichthyes and chondrichthyes. Next is their mouth is mostly terminal. So their in case of chondrichthyes, their mouth is ventral, but here in case of osteichthyes, their mouth is mostly terminal. 4 pairs of gills with operculum, but operculum is absent in chondrichthyes. They have cycloid or ctenoid scales, but the scale type is placoid in case of chondrichthyes. And the ear bladder is present, which is absent in chondrichthyes. They also have two-chambered heart, and they also are also poikilothermal, that means cold-blooded. Their sexes are separate, fertilization is external, and mostly oviparous. Okay, mostly oviparous, and their development is direct. Right, so their development is direct without any larva or anything. And example is exocetus or labio, etc. So this is the figure of katla. Okay, so this is another example of osteichthyes. Next, coming to amphibia. So amphibia is again an important class, and the important characters is they are aquatic as well as terrestrial. So that's why the name suggests. And they have 2 pairs of limbs. So body divisible into head and trunk, and their skin moist without any scales. So scales are absent, whereas in case of Pisces, scales are there. So from the class amphibia, we are talking about tetrapoda. Okay, so they are tetrapoda, that means they bears limbs rather than fins. Okay, so it is a super class tetrapoda. So from subphylum vertebrata, then division Gnathostomata, super class tetrapoda, and we are talking about a class of amphibia. Now their skin is moist without any scales. Their eyes have eyelids. Tympanum represent their ear, and they also have cloaca, and their respiration mainly by gills or lungs or through skin, etc. And here they have 3-chambered heart. From amphibia, they have 3-chambered heart. So and they also have kidneys, and most primitive type of kidneys, that is mesonephric kidneys are there. Okay, and they have 2 auricles and 1 ventricles, so that's why they have 3-chambered heart. And they are also poikilothermous. Their kidney is mesonephric kidney. Urinary bladder is large, and they are ureotelic, that means their waste product is mainly urea. And their sexes are separate, fertilization in external. They are oviparous, and their indirect development is there, and the larva is called tadpole. So the main example of amphibia is frog, bufo, and also hyla, etc. So these are all coming under example of amphibia, that is salamander, or Rana trigena, that is frog, etc. Next, coming to reptilia. So they are also important, and their important feature is their creeping and crawling mode of locomotion, right? And they are terrestrial animals. Their body is covered by dry and cornified skin. So their skin is not moist like amphibia. They're covered by dry and cornified skin, and they have epidermal scales also. They also have tympanum, which represents ear. Their limbs present in 2 pairs, and they also have 3-chambered heart, but in case of crocodiles they have 4-chambered hearts. So in case of 3-chambered heart, they have 2 auricles and 1 ventricle, right? And respiration is mainly by lungs, and they have metanephric kidney, so slightly advanced type of kidney, that is advanced type of kidney. So pronephros, mesonephros, and metanephric kidney. So here in case of reptilia, metanephric kidney is there. And they also have Jacobson organ. So this is an organ which is present in the roof of their buccal cavity, right? And their sexes are separate, fertilizations are internal, and they are also oviparous, and they shows direct development. So example is chelone or chameleon, etc. So this is an example of chameleon, right? Next is aves. So they are again a beautiful type of mammals, that is birds, and they are present. They have feathers, except some flightless birds like ostrich, and they mainly possesses beak, and their forelimbs are modified into wings, and their hind limbs generally have scales in them. Okay, and their skin is very dry, and oil glands are there, and these glands are also called uropygial or preen glands. They have their endoskeleton is bony, and their long bones are mainly pneumatic, that means hollow. Okay, so next is their digestive tract has crop and gizzard. These are two important structure of digestive system of aves, and they are homeothermos, that means they are warm blooded. Okay, so they are warm blooded. So this is from aves. They can control their internal body temperature, so they are not poikilotherm, that means cold blooded. They are homeothermal, that means they are warm blooded animal. And their respiration by lungs, their air sacs connect to lungs, and they have some specific organ called syrinx for voice control, or for their voice. So that's why birds are there. And sexes are separate, fertilization internal, only they have only one ovary, no urinary bladder. They are also oviparous, and their development is direct. Right, example is corvus, that is crow, columba or peacock or parrot, etc. And the next class, and the most important class, is mammalia. So they shows variety of habitats. Okay, so they can form anywhere. Okay, so these type of classes, their habitat varies greatly, and they many of them adapted to fly or live in water. Okay, etc. So adapted to fly is bat, live in water is whale, and they have important character is mammary gland. They possesses mammary glands or milk producing glands. So these are the main character of class Mammalia. They have two pairs of limbs, and they have pinnae, okay, in which is the ear, and malleus, incus or stapes are the three ear ossicles, and they also have four chambered heart, two auricle and two ventricle, and they do their respiration by lungs. They are also homeothermous, that means they are warm blooded, and they can control the temperature of their body, and their sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal, their fertilization is internal, and they are viviparous. Okay, so this is another important character of mammalia. They are viviparous with some exceptions also, and like platypus, so they are oviparous, and they shows direct development. Example is canis, the dogs and cats and etc. Okay, so felis, etc. So bat is there, kangaroo is there. They all are grouped under the class mammalia. So this is all about the plant, all about the animal kingdom. So this is a quick revision. You have to study your NCERT book in very detail, and also go through each and every examples with their scientific names. Okay, so in next video we will discuss on the all on NEET, all the last 32 years questions of NEET, and we will solve them together. So if you like my video, please hit the like button, and also share it among your friends, and please subscribe to Epistasis. Thank you.